My name is Elena Greenlee. I'm a producer on Manos Sucias. A lot of my friends ask me, like, what the hell is a producer? And they never heard me say I wanted to produce, so they were like, what is that? What did you do? It's really hard to describe. I never necessarily thought about producing while I was in school. When I finished school, I was writing a feature script. I was in Brazil and I was doing research for a script I was writing that I wanted to direct. And Joe and Alan called me and they said, you know, we have this project. We'd love for you to read it and give your feedback. And I read it and gave my feedback. And they said, we love your feedback. We'd love for you to be involved. And I'm like, okay. So they kind of like slow courtship process. And they kind of flattered me into producing their movie, which was very slick. I recommend that to all directors. They said, you know, we were thinking like, who else in our class, if we had to give this to another filmmaker, who do we think would really get what we're trying to do with it? And we thought of you. And you know, I had to think about it really hard because I knew that would be a long commitment. We were really naive about how long. You know, this has been a fast process for a feature film. 2.5 years from the beginning of development, really like development with producers on board to festivals is great. But we didn't know at the time it would be 2.5 years. So we were thinking like, okay, do we want to spend the next year together? Do I want to spend my next year producing? And I questioned that a lot, and I was really open and honest with them about like, what do I want out of this? You know, and what at the end of the day, what's my bottom line? Like, what will make this investment worth it for me, and encourage them to also always be open with me about that. And that's actually, it's something that we learned kind of in our acting classes, working on how to direct actors, just to like always check in and to always reach agreements. And so we did that throughout our whole process, and it made it just like such a joy to work together, and something that I would never, I mean, in a million years, never regret a moment of. I do want to keep producing, especially because I met Marcia on this project, and she brought this really complementary skill set. So the thing that one of my bottom lines was, I don't want to bring on another producer who replicates my skill set. So I don't want to have two people who are like, you know, can do the same things and are kind of vying for like, what's going to be my role, what's going to be your role. I really want us to fill in the gaps for each other. And so when we met Marcia, and she was just that perfect person who brought knowledge of the industry, sales. She has a sales background, foreign sales. She knew buyers in Latin America who would be interested in financing the movie. And she could really teach me about those industry sides that film school can kind of hint at, but it can't really give you the full picture. And we just took this philosophy of like, we should teach each other everything we know. We'll never like, you know, be protective or jealous of like terrain, and we'll just try to become one symbiotic organism. And that's been really, really a beautiful process. And then also with Alan and Joe, because there's so much trust in the creative side, because we came through a creative program together, and I love their work and they like my work, and they allow us as producers to contribute creatively, you know, as much as we feel, and we trust them to do what they need to with that. So I would say, you know, for any writers and directors who are considering it, you know, if you have a great project and you have to decide like, is it worth it for me to produce this? I really want to be a director. In my case, it has been 100%. I mean, just the doors that it's opened in the industry, my understanding of how filmmaking works on a professional level as opposed to a student level is grown exponentially. I can't even, like, there's no words, you know, it's just grown so much. And the partnerships are so strong. You know, when you really give yourself to something, the trust that you build with the people around you is, you can't fake that, and you can't buy that. So I would definitely recommend that filmmakers, you know, no matter what role you're able to take, if you have one project that you know you can contribute to significantly, and you know you can learn through it, and you can grow as a person and as a filmmaker through it, then throw yourself wholeheartedly into that one project, even if it's going to be a couple years, as opposed to kind of dabbling in different things and holding yourself back because you want to, you know, have this title or that title. Mm-hmm.